All right, so I just want to quickly touch on the road to reconstruction or like the road to recovery. So right now I'm driving, right? I live in Atlanta, by the way. If you know anything about Atlanta and Atlanta's traffic, it's absolutely insane. But as I'm driving, I noticed a couple of different things today, in particular. For one, there was construction on the road, and then the other thing is that there was a car accident, and a pretty bad car accident. And then, of course, you have the normal disruption of the flow of traffic just because people are getting off of work around this time. So, this all made me think of the road to recovery because now, right, traffic is flowing. I'm pretty much in the clear. I'm going about 70 miles an hour right now. But it made me think of the things along the way in my personal road to recovery. So first, how I had mentioned, like the construction in the road. That kind of reminded me of the hardest part of the recovery, and that was like having to confess certain things, and then also like the emotional weight and just the spiritual weight of being like just having like this burden or like this again just like this heaviness on me. But while I was watching the construction workers, dirtied up, and I was looking at the ground broken up, that was like a visual representation of all the things that I was feeling inside. And the interesting thing is that that road in a couple of days really is going to be beautiful. And that's kind of where I'm at now, right? I'm at that beauty stage. And again, though I'm here now, it took a lot to get here, right? Like I said, I mentioned confession, but then it also took me therapy. It took me having to pray and fast daily and speak to God often. It took me having to cut off people that I loved and I didn't want to cut off. It took me having to sit there by myself with God and just have these deep discussions. But again, at the end, and I'm still recovering, right? I'm still being reconstructed. But again, right now the pavement is laid. A good layer of the pavement is laid, and the future is very bright. I had also mentioned how I saw a car accident as well, and people were hurt. And I just think about how during my road to recovery, people were hurt because I had to come forth about things that hurt people close to me, right? About deep, dark secrets, like pornography, for instance. And just watching how I had allowed something like that to develop so much, and then having to tell people about it and seeing how it hurt them. And here's the funny thing too. It's not even funny, but like it's just the truth of the matter. It's like, and people say all the time, but sin really does affect others. It does not just affect you. There's always someone on the other end. So just like that car accident I saw, and how, because somebody was rear-ended. So that person was rear-ended, and the person behind them too, right? They were both hurt. So I kind of looked at myself as a person who hit the person in front of them, and then not only was I hurt or that person hurt, but then the people that they rear-ended. So I just want to let you know, man, that like, if you're covering up some sin in your life, you gotta come forth, and it's gonna hurt regardless, but it's better just to say something now. Plus, that's gonna help you to recover. There's also multiple ambulances outside and police and stuff, and they're gonna be bringing those people who were hurt to the ambulance. for recovery. Recovery is necessary. And then again, I also mentioned at the beginning of this video just how on the drive home, the initial flow of traffic was disrupted just because everyone was getting off of work. Think of in my life how my path was disrupted by all the noise around me, all the people around me who I knew I should have been cut off and didn't need in my life, but I just allowed them to surround me and get into my lane and disrupt my path home. In terms of like recovery. But once I decided to take the path I knew I should have been on from the jump, and that was, having a close relationship with Christ, getting into my Bible, getting connected around godly people, being in a community, then that changed everything. So I hope this video helped somebody. If it did, drop in the comments that this resonated. Let me know what you're going through. And for the men out there going through any type of crazy circumstance in life, I did create an app that you can download. It's currently available on the Apple Store. I'll leave the link to the app in the comments. But it's a whole structure to get out of your situation, and it's the same structure that I use. That's all I got for today. Love.